250 million. We
So
get right now.
3-1 it finished for
It's a
France
layup, though,
today.
isn't it? When you're picking Northern Ireland for your friendly, it's a bit of a layup, isn't it? Particularly at home.
Get him, Frank.
Well, yes, Michael Olise, absolutely fantastic. But I want to add Doué, especially the first half, who was the only one, trying to create something and being successful, and also working hard, tracking back and everything. So, but that was a good game from France. It was difficult because Northern Ireland played 5 at the back. They were quite defensive, so to find any spaces was tricky. But France managed to win that game. We saw, I think, in the first half, the team was going to start against Senegal. I don't see anybody else, being substituted. I think it's going to be the first 11 that we should see against Senegal, as I said before. And yes, everything was good, except that for the last 5 games, France conceded 1 goal. And they tried to keep the clean sheet for that game, but they couldn't do it. There was unfortunate that Upamecano didn't get the ball because he made a great tackle, but he put the ball back to the winger. But otherwise, nothing much to say. Nobody was injured. They're going to go to America within 2 days. They're going to be prepared with, I guess, full of confidence. But I'm questioning Kylian Mbappé. Very clumsy today. Of course, never tracked back. I jumped in my sofa sometimes, saying, come on, run, get the ball back. Nah, he doesn't want to do that, and he will never do it. So it's not part of his tools. But he will have to score goals in order to be loved by all the French fans. But hopefully, we'll do the job for France, and we're going to win that World Cup. Because you never know, I never stalled you like we did in '98.
Yes. What is the feeling in France, though, overall, Frank? Is it a feeling of confidence or are the concerns?
They're French, of course they are.
Yes, we are. We are French. We love to be very confident about ourselves. But now, because of the forward line, we are very confident. But remember in 2002, where we had Trezeguet, Thierry Henry, Nicolas Anelka, all top scorer in their own league, Italy, France, and England. They didn't score a goal in the 3 games that we had in the group stages, and we'd been kicked out. And the first game was against Senegal. So we want to believe that what something happened once cannot happen twice. But signs are not very good. We lost 2-1 the last game against Ivory Coast. It was the same thing in 2002 when we lost 2-1 against Belgium. So there are signs where. And we are favorites. We were favorites as well. So it's never good with friends when we are favorites. So we have to make sure we don't get carried away by the fact we are the second favorite of the World Cup. We have to do the job, and hopefully everything is going to work for the best. But people are confident, of course.
If you beat France or Spain, you're not going to be far away.
No.
As simple as that. And Senegal to start isn't easy, and certainly Norway are going to be a very interesting team, I think, at this World Cup. Got a lot of power, a lot of goals, some really solid players. But these games are really difficult. For people tuning in for these games a week, less than a week now before the World Cup, for some of them, it's extremely difficult for players because you really are on your tiptoes. You're wrapping yourself in cotton wool because the World Cup's just a couple of days away. And your game might be whatever, 4 or 5 days, a week maybe. And for something to happen, a hamstring or a twisted ankle, and you're out for a month or 2 and you're going to miss the World Cup. So you take these games with a pinch of salt because I think players are, I say 10% off, maybe 20, 30% off. Because you just have it in your mind, I just don't want to miss this tournament, so I don't want to do anything daft. So everybody's just playing on tender hooks.
What you can get from it, you can see the shape they want to play, the style of football they want to play, but it's all, as you say, 10, 20% down on what it would normally be.
And it might be a little partnership, you talk about between the centre-halves at the back, or some small like that.
I thought Elise and Koundé might form a partnership like he does with Yamal. I was looking for that today.
But he just doesn't have the juice of walking out, and for that World Cup in France, I was there. That just walking out is weird. They're very fortunate to be able to do it in the first game against Brazil at the Stade de France. It was the opening ceremony, and let me tell you, you are just ramped up for that because there's so much at stake. You're playing the world champions. I don't know how many are watching around the world. The whole of Scotland is shut down for the day, as I hope most countries will do.
Did you put your teeth in for that one?
Oh, no. I put my teeth in for that.
You know what, Kate? Sorry. Sorry if I can add something about France's last game and what Craig said. You normally don't learn anything from those games. You just try to prevent any injury. But what we know, according to what Olise showed today, because everybody thought Olise will play as a number 10 and Dembélé will play on the right side. I think if Deschamps had any idea of doing that, he's going to change his mind. And Olise is going to play on the right side like he does for Bayern Munich because he's so efficient. And Dembélé will have to move as a number 10. And we didn't see the best of Dembélé today, but Dembélé has to play. And maybe something is going to move on, but Doué was very good on the left side. And Dembélé is at risk in any positioning because the others, they already settled down in their position. That's crazy, but the Ballon d'Or doesn't have a real spot for himself. That's crazy.
Is there any scenario, Frank, during this World Cup, if it isn't, and I don't expect this to happen, but if it isn't going well for France, particularly in the knockout stages and the game's going against them, and the aforementioned Kylian Mbappé is not performing, is there a scenario where Didier Deschamps will just take him out of the equation?
I don't know, because he named him the captain, and everybody thought that what his name, Griezmann, was named. It wanted to give him more responsibility, wanted him to be more involved, but I don't think he's going to move him. I don't think he's going to move him because, you know, with what happened the last 15 minutes of the final of the World Cup with Argentina is still in everybody's mind. Where Mbappé can suddenly wake up and score 3 goals in 15 minutes. So that's what it is, and it seems to be strange and maybe unfair towards the others, especially when you have maybe Cherki on the bench and you can put Dembélé as a striker and Cherki as a number 10. Will he take that chance? Will he try to put Mbappé out? I don't know. Maybe, but I would say that I have doubts about that.
I'm not saying before the game. I'm saying like if a game's not going,
I can't see it.
I can't. Because if it comes off, you're a genius. But if it doesn't come off, if you take Mbappé off and you lose the game,
but he's walking.
Yeah,
Deschamps is walking anyway.
Yeah, true. But he goes with a lot of stick flying.
Well, I know, but as you said, they have, if it comes off, and listen, this is all hypothetical, but sometimes you've got to look at a manager and say, and we're going to see this with Roberto Martinez, potentially with Cristiano Ronaldo.
Absolutely.
But has Didier Deschamps come that big moment, be it a final or a semi, whatever it is, and Mbappe's the guy who's underperforming, bearing in mind the talent pool that France have, which is immense in the forward areas, does he have the gumption to make that big call? Or is somebody else going to be like Olivier Giroud was in 2022, 2018?
He's more likely to make. He's more likely to take him off when they're doing well. So I'm going to take him off for the last 20 minutes. We're controlling the game. We're winning the game. I'll take him off. So he can say, well, I've taken him off every so often. I don't always play him.
Yeah.
But when they're losing and they're down, he'll keep him on the pitch.
You don't see.
No, not at all. I think Didier Deschamps will make every adjustment he possibly can, including Kylian Mbappé, whether it's taking other people around, whether it's changing the formation. I just do not see Kylian Mbappé being substituted because...
Well, but not even if he is having a poor day at the office.
Because all of a sudden, 75th, to Frank's point, 75th minute he wakes up, there aren't many people in this game today who will score a hat-trick in a World Cup final with playing 15 minutes in the way that Kylian Mbappé does. I do not think you risk that.
Going back many years, when Gary Lineker played his last game for England, and Graham Taylor, the England manager at the time, they were losing in the European Championships by a goal to nil, I think, and he took him off after 65 minutes. Graham Taylor was absolutely hammered for doing that. But Lineker hadn't done a thing in the game. Right. Because he was the leading goal scorer and they said, who's going to score the goals? It's going to be Gary Lineker. He should have stayed on the field. And that's what they say about Mbappé, and that's what the manager's got in the back of his mind.
All right, let's get you some more friendly action, shall we, before we bring you our top goals. We got to see Colombia taking on Jordan.